Hey friend, welcome to today's episode. This wasn't an easy one to record. It made me uncomfortable. It took me out my comfort zone, but we're friends here, so we can have these kinds of conversations, right? Hey friend, welcome to Menopause and Motherhood, the empowering podcast made just for menopausal mums juggling the beautiful chaos of family life. If you're ready to reclaim your health, confidence and sanity, including managing weight and feeling strong again, you are in the right place. I'm your host SJ, and together we'll navigate menopause with practical, real-world advice focused on rest, fuel and movement, the three pillars that support weight loss, boost your energy and help you feel like yourself again. Plus, this podcast is proudly partnered with Mother Cup of Tea, a delicious calming tea designed to support menopausal women's well-being, helping you find balance and calm in your busy day. Now, grab your favourite cuppa and let's dive into today's episode. Hello. Okay, so first of all, apologies. This is a bit late. It is what it is. It's the school holidays here. I'm trying to keep things together, and that is not always easy. Today, I'm going to open up and talk about something that's really very real for so many women, myself included, when it comes to perimenopause and thinking about perimenopause and depression. Because this isn't just about like some mood swings or a few down days. It's about those mornings when getting out of bed feels like you are climbing a mountain, where even the simplest task feels exhausting and overwhelming. And I've been there, and some days, honestly, I am still there. Now, if you do hear some like grindy kind of noises in the background, that is my puppy Daisy, our new golden retriever. And she is going through that puppy stage where they need to chew everything, and she is chewing that so that I can get some peace and actually talk to you. So I want to talk in today's episode about perimenopause and depression. And I'm going to share a bit of my story, some of the struggles that I've had. And I want to leave you with 3 tips that I really feel are going to help you. They're things that I've done that helped me as well. And I want to be really honest with you. There are mornings when that alarm goes off and Tim's up and out the door to go to work. And I just find myself like lying there thinking, I don't want to do this today. I can't do it today. And it's not because I'm lazy or unmotivated, because I'm not. But it's because perimenopause changes our brain chemistry. And we have these hormonal shifts in estrogen and progesterone that really can affect like our serotonin levels, that happy chemical that we have in our body. And that can really leave us feeling low, anxious, or just emotionally flat. And I wonder if that's something that you've experienced, where you find yourself feeling like you're almost on autopilot and you're kind of getting up, doing things and, making sure that you're present and you're making sure that everyone's, washed and clothed and fed. And you just kind of find yourself just almost lacking joy. And I've felt like that. And there are some moments as we're going through the summer holidays and harvest when I am feeling like that, being brutally honest with you. So right now, things are hard in our house. It's the summertime. It's, as many of you know, like your kids are off school full time, and we love our children. Like we absolutely do love our children, but it's hard going sometimes, and it is okay to say that. The added pressure that we have in our household is harvest, like summertime, when everybody else is thinking about taking some time off work, thinking about going on a break and going on holiday. Like the work level in this house goes up, and Tim is like full on busy, stressed, late nights, like midnight, 2 a.m. finishes. I barely see him. We're just like literally ships that pass in the night. And it's challenging. And at the moment through the summer, I often find myself feeling like really quite low in my mood, like quite stressed, and just like I'm on some kind of autopilot. And I think it's important as well to note that this isn't just, like challenging circumstances. It's challenging circumstances on top of hormone shifts and never quite knowing exactly how you're going to wake up and feel on a day-to-day basis. And that feeling, you can feel sad, but it's almost like this heavy physical tiredness. And I have days where I feel like my body and my mind are like wading through treacle, when even the really basic, simple things are just exhausting. And everyone around me is incredibly annoying. And even sometimes the things that I love, like walking my dog, like those of you that see me on social media, like I have 3 dogs. I've got I've got a 12-year-old, a 2-year-old, and we've also got a puppy. And I love, like, my dog Sky, who's 2. She is like my best friend. I love her so much, and we go running together. But even there are some days where I just don't even want to do that. And that's not like me. And, like the idea of like seeing friends and even recording this podcast, like that can feel too much, and that can be really scary. And if you do have those days and you do feel like that sometimes, the whole point of me kind of laying it out like this in this podcast episode is that I don't want you to feel that you are on your own, because that's the worst thing. Like when your mindset is negative, when you're feeling like everything is really, really hard, you don't want to feel like you're on your own. You want to feel that there is someone who cares about you, who is fighting your corner, who is cheering you on, and who's lifting you up on those hard days. And I want to be that person for you, because I know that not everybody has friends around them. Like not everybody has family around them. I don't live near my family. My family are 5 hours away. And it can feel really lonely, and you can feel isolated, and you can like wonder, what on earth is wrong with me? Like, why do I feel this? And if you scroll back through some of the previous episodes to a couple of years ago, and I talk about this quite a lot. So I had my really good friend Lindsay. She came on the podcast and she shared her story about how her perimenopause symptoms were misdiagnosed as depression, and the doctors put her on antidepressants, and they were giving her like the treatment as if she was depressed, but they weren't actually identifying and treating the underlying cause of the depression, which was her hormones, which were giving her a hard time. And it took her to a crisis point where she did actually try, and thankfully, praise God, she was unsuccessful, and she did try to take her own life. But it was at that crisis point that she met a female psychiatrist who actually put her onto HRT. And that was the game changer, that everything like slotted into place, and she began to feel more like herself. Now, this isn't an episode about going and getting HRT, but actually this is an episode where we're talking about depression, and we're talking about the fact that it is common for us to feel down, for our mood to be down, for us not to feel like our usual self, because our hormones are having some kind of like bonkers crazy roller coaster inside our body, and we don't know what we're going to wake up feeling like from one day to the next. So that really is like the first part of this podcast, is I want you to know that if you feel like this, you are not alone. It is normal, and there is nothing wrong with you. Now, the second part of this podcast, and I will say, obviously, I'm not a doctor. I cannot diagnose. And if you are feeling like really down and low and unhappy, you absolutely need to go and see a medical professional. But there are some things that we can do ourselves to help ourselves, to help our body. And these are the 3 foundational things that I talk about all the time on this podcast. I talk about rest, making sure that you're getting enough sleep. I talk about fueling your body with the food that it needs, and sometimes and very often actually supplementing it with some really, really high quality supplements, which I have linked in the show notes for you. And then also movement, like the cherry on top is the movement. And that for me, the movement really is like a lifeline for me. And it's one thing that's always kept me going. And I'm not saying it's a magic fix, but it makes a huge difference. Movement is everything to me. On the days when I feel my worst, I try to do something. And I think this is where having dogs is so helpful, because they need you to walk them. They need you. You have this living, breathing creature that loves you unconditionally, regardless of what you look like, whether you're fat, thin. They love you for the love that you give them. And this is the wonderful thing about dogs. And I'm sat here recording this with you, and I've got the 2 older dogs just laid out on the sofa, snoring their heads off. And the puppy is sat underneath my chair chewing her toys at the moment. And I am so grateful for the 3 of them, because they have been the thing that has got me through some of my worst and darkest days. And the dogs that came before them that I was blessed with, they have also got me through some of my darkest and most challenging times. And it is because I have to walk them, because I have to go and do a walk with them, because they need to be walked. And exercise, we know it's good for us, but it's so hard, isn't it? Like, it's so hard when you don't feel like it, when all you want to do is sit in your pajamas and sit at home and watch rubbish on the TV. But we know that exercise increases endorphins. It improves the blood flow to the brain. It helps to regulate our mood. And it doesn't need to be like some full-on sweaty gym session. It's gentle movement, and that's really does count. And I think if you can get over that initial, I'm going to do something, and you say, hey, I'm going to do something for 5 minutes. I'm going to go and walk around the block for 5 minutes. I'm going to walk the dog for 5 minutes. Like, once you push past that 5 minutes, the next 5 minutes is easier. And the next 5 minutes after that is even more easier. And even just like 10 minutes outside can change your entire day. So that is my sales speech for dogs and also exercise. But 3 things I want to leave you with when it comes to supporting your mental health in perimenopause. And I'm going to run through these 3 things with you. Okay, number 1, and I have just really hammed this for you. You need to move your body, like even when you don't want to. Our bodies were designed to move. It really is a huge benefit to us. Just like I said, just start small. Say to yourself, I'm going to walk for 5 minutes. Or I'm going to do yoga for 5 minutes. And then that first 5 minutes, once you've got past that and you've pushed through that, it's so much easier to do something else and to carry on. And your goal is not to burn calories, but actually just to create like a chemical shift in your brain that is going to support your mood. And this is why those of you that have dogs, I think you can really kind of relate to this. They not only bring you so much joy, and stress as well. Like, I have to say, having a puppy right now is pretty challenging. But I know that this phase isn't going to last forever. And all of the work and effort that I put in now will pay off in the future, because I'm going to have a really, really lovely dog. But having a dog just makes it kind of easier to get out, because they need you to do it. And this is one of the reasons why I teach my dog fit classes, because it really can, like, for people that struggle with mental health, like going out, talking to people, being social, and then also doing it with your dog so that the pressure isn't kind of all on you. is like so good if you're struggling with your mood, struggling with depression. So there we go. There's a really good few minutes about like why you should be exercising. Step number 2 is to talk about how you feel and not bottling it up. Now, I think I'm kind of having my own little therapy session here just by sitting behind my microphone and talking to you about it. And maybe that might be something that you want to do. Maybe not to put out into the world like I do. But maybe it's, maybe you might want to, if you're a talker like me, maybe you want to do a diary, but in like a voice format. You could record it on your phone, for example. You might want to talk to a friend. I think that one can be challenging because sometimes we feel like we don't want to put on other people. Or you might want to talk to your partner. Maybe actually it might be better if you can to actually talk to some form of therapist, because you're paying them to listen to you, and then you're not going to feel guilty that you are putting on them, because ultimately you're paying them to do that. There's a lot of people out there who often you might have some friends who are maybe training to be counselors, or you might have a friend who is potentially like training to be a life coach or something. And they are often looking for people to, you have to do a certain number of hours to achieve these qualifications. And that might be a way for you to kind of tap into some sort of more professional support without it costing you a lot of money. You might find maybe like an online community of women like we have here who are going through the same thing. We do have a Facebook group. You are welcome to jump in and join us in there, which I'll link in the show notes. And speaking out really does lift the weight of this feeling of isolation and reminds you that you are not broken and that you are just human like the rest of us. So just a quick story. I was at a kid's birthday party today with my daughter, and I picked up my friend and her daughter because they were going to the same party. We went to the party and it was loud. It was like one of those indoor kids play centers, and it was really noisy. It's quite stressful, and you're kind of in a situation where there's loads of other women and you sort of feel like you have to kind of talk to each other. And my friend and I, we made an effort to talk to other people, because it would have been really easy for us to sit there for 2 hours and just talk to each other, because we can literally talk the rear end off a donkey. Like, we're very similar in the way that we think and what we have in common, and we could just go for hours and hours. But we didn't want to come across as rude, and we wanted to try and be inclusive to other people who perhaps didn't know other people there. But oh my gosh, it was hard. We got in the car afterwards and we looked at each other and we were like, is it us? Like, why is it that some people just don't want to talk to us? And I'm really glad that we were able to ask each other that question, because otherwise I would have gone home and I would have felt like there was something wrong with me. But because my friend was asking the same question, I was like, okay, right, it's the circumstance. It's not me. I didn't feel isolated. And that's why I really think it's important to have somebody to talk to, because then you are reminded that you are not broken. You're human. It's not you. Like, your feelings are justified. Okay, number 3 is to create tiny moments of joy. Now, when depression feels big, joy can feel impossible. So I really think in these moments, you don't want to be thinking about like the whole of your life and having like joy and happiness and your life being completely. I think you need to shrink it down. And I think you need to find one thing that can give you joy. Okay. So it could be you light a candle, and if you go to my link in the show notes with my partner company, Ori, you will find some lovely scented candles in there if that is your jam. Maybe you might want to listen to your favourite song, or sit in the garden with a cup of tea. I did that earlier. Like everyone was going absolutely batshit, sorry, in my house. The dogs were woofing, the TV was on. Chloe was like, Mummy, I'm hungry. And I just walked out the back of my house and I just sat on the chair and the wind was blowing. And I was just like, I'm just going to feel the wind on my face. And I just felt so much better. So it might be sitting in the garden with a cup of tea. Like having these small rituals can really help to anchor your mind in the present and create micro bursts of happiness. So one of my micro bursts, if you like, that I take joy in at the end of the day, drum roll please, is my skincare routine. And I know it sounds like a little bit like pretentious, a little bit like I'm on some kind of like skincare program or something, but I love the feeling of like washing my face, putting on some serum, putting on some eye cream, and then putting on like the stuff I use, of course, is from Ori, and I invite you very, very much to go and check it out. The link is in the show notes. You can do this like skin questionnaire and it will tell you like the right products to choose for your skin and also for your preferences. But one of the things I absolutely delight in is like a really thick moisturizer cream that goes on my skin at nighttime. And I love that. That is my moment of joy in the evening where I've had a shower, because I'm like a 2 shower a day person. I have a shower, go into my bedroom at my dressing table, and I do my skincare routine. And I do the eye cream and I dab my eye and I put serum on and then I put my moisturizer on. And it's like, then I know I'm going to bed and I'm going to go to sleep. And that is my joy. At the end of the day, that is my joy. That is my tiny moment of joy. So I really encourage you to really think about like, what is it that brings you joy? And if it is a really luxurious moisturizer, please go and grab yours from Oriflame because they're so good and they're incredibly reasonably priced. And it has really changed my life. And I say that jokingly, but actually I'm not joking. It really has. And my skin is amazing. And I did a whole previous podcast episode all about skin and perimenopause and how you can help your skin. And if that's your jam, go back and listen to it. But just to wind myself back from my lovely moisturizer, just some closing thoughts. If you're listening to this and you are like in the thick of it right now, like I am, please know like you're not weak, you're not alone. It took me a lot to record this episode today. Like I've come to the end of a very challenging day, but I wanted to talk to you because if I'm feeling like this, I know that there is somebody out there who is also feeling like this, and I want you to know that you are not alone. Perimenopause depression, it is real, it's valid, it's not your fault. Please be kind to yourself. Move a little, talk a lot, and you've just listened to me to talk to you for like the best part of 20 minutes, and find a tiny spark of joy. Whether it's a moisturizer, a cup of tea, even in the darkest days, I bet you there is one thing that you can find that will bring you some joy. So please take a moment for yourself. Do something that is going to bring you joy. I would love to know what it is. You are so welcome to jump into my emails or come over, find me on social media, join the Facebook group. Tell me what your moment of joy is. I would love to hear it. And I hope you have an amazing day. And I will look forward to catching up with you in the next episode.
Thank you for listening to my mum's podcast. I hope you like it. Please share it with a friend.
Thanks so much for listening to Menopause and Motherhood. I hope you found today's episode helpful and inspiring as you navigate this journey. Remember, it's all about small steps, resting well, fueling your body, and moving in ways that feel good for you. And don't forget to check out Mother Cup of Tea for the perfect moment of calm in your busy day. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with other amazing mums like you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.